$16 per hour. This amount is above the national minimum wage, and it may seem like enough for entry-level employees. But based on their circumstances, it may be far from enough. What if a person's a single parent? What if they send money every month to a relative in need? What if they're still struggling to pay a $50,000 medical bill from an accident a few years ago? Even if you look at the average hourly market rate across the U.S., $30 per hour may not be enough to keep people from living on the financial brink. When you look beyond averages and market rates and try to see people's real lives, you may encounter a startling truth that even profitable companies that think they're paying their employees fairly may have employees who are barely getting by. So what can you do about that? Welcome to the TED Business Podcast. I'm your host, Modupe Akinola, Associate Professor of Management at Columbia Business School and Director of the Bernstein Center for Leadership and Ethics. Today, Dan Schulman offers insight into a new metric that PayPal invented, net disposable income, that can help organizations determine if they're paying their employees enough. Dan Schulman is the president and CEO of PayPal and chairman of the board of Symantec. He served in division president and CEO roles at American Express, Sprint, and Virgin Mobile. His leadership has been critical in helping companies meet the 21st century demand of contact-free payments. You'll hear him not in a traditional TED Talk, but in conversation with TED Business Curator Corey Hajim on the TED Interview podcast. And he'll explain the process he used at PayPal to understand the true financial health of employees. Then after the interview, I'll be back to suggest how we can take that quest for understanding a step further. Dan will also tell you the lengths to which PayPal went to address deficiencies, because it turns out that paying employees enough to feel secure in their financial futures helps the company too. Imagine what our companies and our communities would look like if every organization did this.
I'm really excited to have Dan here with us. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thanks for having me, Corey. Pleasure to be here with you.
So let's dive right in. PayPal has done something unique in terms of calculating how much to pay people and how much you should spend on benefits. Traditionally, wages are set by the market, but you found that paying as much or even more than other companies wasn't always enough. Can you tell us about that moment?
Yeah, 2/3 of Americans struggle to make ends meet at the end of the month. They are financially stressed, and it kind of wreaks havoc in their life. And I did a study to look at PayPal employees. We did a research study, and I did it because I thought I was going to get back this great information that I was going to talk about at an employee meeting about how well we pay, because we pay, to your point, at or above market in every single location around the world. And what I found is, unfortunately, 60% of our operations personnel, our entry-level employees, our hourly workers, face the same thing. They struggle to make ends meet. And that was simply unacceptable for me. I mean, I think the world is changing in terms of the responsibility of corporations, the responsibility of CEOs. And we have a lot of different stakeholders that we try to satisfy, from regulators to shareholders to customers to employees. But I think the number one responsibility that we have is the health, financial health of our employees, because nothing could be more important to a company than to have financially secure, passionate employees working for you. Nobody is going to serve customers better than employees who feel a part of something and feel financially secure and glad to be a part of that company. And so then the real question becomes, like, how do you measure that? Because a lot of people think about living wages or a minimum wage, and we thought that was insufficient. And we came up with a measurement we called net disposable income, which is basically after you pay taxes and you're basically